You see a shady-looking figure fishing coins of gold out of the muddy water that pools beneath the well overhead. His movements are quick and nervous, but nevertheless, he seems to enjoy stuffing what cash he can find into the many pockets of his shabby garb. So absorbed is he in his coin hoarding that at first he doesn't notice your presence. Suddenly, though, he pauses, looks up, and quick as a cat its talon, your friendly tone of voice has immediate effect. The man quickly relaxes his aggressive stance, sheathes his weapons, and
Mute, can't speak. You look professional. You the source hunter the wizard asked for?
Excitedly, the man turns over the scrap and pens a few more lines.
Name's Walgraf. I admire you. No hero like source hunter. Source'll dead end.
Walgraf nods enthusiastically and pulls a couple of ripped parchment pieces out from
Been mute since I was a kid. Sorcerers took my voice. People think I'm stupid. Get money, food where I can. Steal if I must. Not from poor folks. I'm a good sneak, good fighter, good with locks. See, want to help you. I'm useful. Want to catch sorcerers. Make 'em pay. Please.
Walgraf notices there's no room left in your party.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears? In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy, and so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mothers. The wise godwolf Amira raised the child thrice among her litter. Ask freely, my friend. Your city is far more wild than Home Forest. In Home Forest, the rules are clear. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage. Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of your... A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I am both beast and human. I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. The remembering of the beast. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember it is different between beasts and humans. He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild, he called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great... Jarrett visited me often. And in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food. Jarrett is my master and my friend. I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. I watched countless of my loved ones die. Rot the next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. He was kidnapped, and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he...
According to his diary, this bloke couldn't put down his dogs even after he knew them to be infected. They are only innocent beasts.
Skeletons must keep still. Mercy me, it walks, but it's not dead. The name's Wolfram, and it's a delight to make your acquaintance. Good to see, by the by, you don't belong to the Legion. 10 of their number accompanied me on a fact-finding mission to an ancient... Not that I reckon my chance is any higher, though, especially with that vicious undead mutt prowling the ground. I'm an archaeologist and connoisseur of the undead. Because of my expertise, Lieutenant Selenia, a commander of the Legion in Sicile, wanted me to investigate the ancient burial mound just outside of town. Hoping, quite so, I live for the dead, so to speak. The combination of archaeology and a case of zombies are the results of vile necromancy in action. Among the resurrected dead, there are Should you encounter these menaces, always try to pick them off from afar. Don't let these ones in particular, the ones around Sicile, are the resurrected soldiers of Brachus, the last and most infamous in the line of sorcerer kings. He himself is supposed to be that as it may. Brachus's soldiers stalk these lands anew, and they still fight like veterans. I told those fools of legionnaires to... Oh, and don't be surprised if the dead use an unusual amount of magic against you. These soldiers... I'll never make it back to Sicile alone. But you've got...
Indeed. Don't you worry.
Marvelous. I'm one foot in the grave here. Help me!
feel like I've just had a long bath in a cold lake.
To me! To me! I'm under attack!
I feel better already!
Yes, that's how it's done. You did it! We made it! Oh, cheers for escorting me to safety.
Your return marks a victory, Hunter. We'll vanquish our
Oh,
foes
I could do with a
yet.
cold drink. Lucky find! like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
You there! Cut it out! Hey, stop that! So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know? And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble. Unless I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched, lured me outside claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome. This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking, I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the north. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. Killer of the community? Ha! Half this city does... We'll have none of that, you hear?
Ho hum. Sightseeing isn't so bad on a quiet day like this, is it?
That excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman there.
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lying.
Providing you can afford it, I'll be happy to supply you with all the gear you'll need while swinging swords.
Really now, I can't afford to indulge in chit-chat with my legion of followers. Even a star of those nasty beasts. What do you mean, not familiar? Why? And don't forget... Welcome thee, my friend. Wait, I'm an archaeologist and connoisseur of the... Quite so. I live for the dead, so zombies are the result. Should you encounter these menaces, always...
It's you. Just the person to answer a question. How curious of you to...
Have you ever had a fortunate challenge?
Greetings, Source Hunter. Ready to have another...
but that doesn't solve the mystery.
Nothing for it but to keep looking for more clues.
As many friends as the man with many cheeses. What'll you have? Oh.
Bloody undead!
Ain't true. Harry's by the cousins.
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter? Far be it from her to tell her master what in the seven's name she's up to. The girl flew from here like I'd try her house, for starters. It's not far from here. I'll mark the location on your map. Me? It was I. Not to mention that it's been... Yes. If that another family restored, thanks to... Certainly, what would you like to know? The counselor, from what I can tell, it seems to be a simple... To what do I owe the repeat? Certainly, what would you like to know? I've applied my... I declare it an act of the Almighty's. The counselor, from what I can tell... That's enough of that now.
Let's see. Halibut.
Thank the seven we...
Legion's greetings, Hunter. I am Septimus, seventh son in a household of 9. So fair a lady steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver. And what questions are those? I hold by the belief that I remember waking up with a head full of hammers, too. You claim to possess evidence that implicates Lady Esmeralda. There now, she was stringing Ferrol along. Ha! A pampered brat, that Duke, just like she...
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? So, what piece of irrefutable evidence are you— I never liked her from the moment I met her. Men cannot see past her. She hails from Silverglen, a village in the forest north of Sicil. How she made it past the undead— If anyone killed my Jake, it must be her. She had her claws in him for many long months, and finally she must have... So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
I suppose so. But seeing that I'm neither married, engaged, or attached anywhere, I've never bothered to inquire.
Polite, handsome, and single. Don't go anywhere tonight, Legionnaire. I'd be afraid alone in the dark.
Ready to advance, ready to defend. Ask away, my friend, ask away. More than I'd hoped, comrade. There's mayors, and on top of it all, the feline menace is lurking at every hearth and shadow. But what'll you...
My, what a strong and handsome
I
am on the trail, Source Hunter. Ask freely, my friend.
Your battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty, you know, for the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never fear. As long as I'm around, no hair on your head.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore. I know you're probably knee-deep in that awful murder investigation, but truth be told, the Legion could use your help. We've been conducting a series of expeditions into... Lieutenant Selenia, at your service. I'm Captain Aureus' second-in-command. Now, I certainly don't mind a bit of healthy competition, and even rivalry between... And that is exactly what your presence in Sicil is, Source Hunter. The undead. I pitied them at first. Many of the bravest among my men and women tell me they are weaker in the west and stronger in the east. So I suggest you head westward if you want to flex your... I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you. If ever we want to be victorious in Sicil, we have to track down the route of the 3 landmarks were chosen for further investigation. The lighthouse, the burial mounds, and the old church. There's a lighthouse to the west, up on the bluffs, overlooking the sea. No map. The locals say it's haunted, and half a dozen legionnaires have gone to find out whether or not those are... There are ancient burial grounds to be found north of the city. As good a place... A local archaeologist offered to tag along with the men. Here's hoping his knowledge... My legionnaires. They all perished? How fate has treated them wantonly. There's a church to the northeast of here, built atop the very place where once stood a temple dedicated to the source. The Sicilians razed it, and built a church for the 7 instead, supposedly to symbolize all superstitious mumbo-jumbo, if you ask me. But when the dead rose, that is when they were first. So I did. The Pact of Volunteers. Many legionnaires will do whatever it takes to go home, which is why I personally sign their transfer orders the moment. The chances of survival during these sorties are only about 1 in 10, you see. So my soul...
Heard any good tales, my friend? Fine, my friend?
Cut it out!
How can I help you, my friend? And what might those be? One of them failed? Who is the mongrel that dares to question my engineering expertise? You know what? Here's the remote access device with which I used to control it. There's a manual for that somewhere around here, too. Yours, if you can find it. I really should invite Victoria one of these days, so she can help me organize my... Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. The enemy is wily. You have until they can... Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a by all means. I can't say much more, but that they're mad. Of course. I hope you're in... I can but piece together what few... They say a woman arrived in the king... I say man. It took a while. How and why he came to... I myself have none. Even though the rest of the... Now, it may well be established that she is, in fact, the guilty party. I'm not... His body is gone, replaced with that of a sheep. This seems too improbable to be true, but nevertheless...
Nothing but rubbish. I'm stuck fast. Fate is an ice-cold mistress.
You, again. Do feel free to depart from Seal at your earliest convenience. Yes, surely you have exhausted all the... It was stolen? Gods, what a fool that was. He has a lot to answer for, but not as much as the one... She vanished into thin air, did she? Could she be behind this rotten business after all? If you must. What'd you take me for? An ignoramus? That accursed name rings a god's... We may well stand on unholy ground right now, for they say his
That doesn't belong to us, you know. Overzealous? No such thing when it comes to sniffing out sorcerers. I say we ought to be able to take and use whatever will make...
Quiet! Now
Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Those boots are in Barry's. Better to evacuate this place while there's...
Sorry, sir.
You're a source hunter, aren't you? They...
Those boots are in Barry's Bridgestone. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Greetings! These stalls are for our Legion troops, Rivellon's finest.
Well, Source Hunter, you come to the right place, you have. I got every style of equipment to fit you from head to foot, if it's a trade you're after.
Did someone even have a door open?
Potent heat! Not much about zombies, do you?
Baking like a cake.
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if Ahu's invention, the stasis blaster, quite these days we legionnaires hold. Don't ask me how.
To leave the city is to venture into danger. Be careful, Source Hunter.
Dancing dugongs, you nearly onward.
Heard any good tales, my friend?
You realize that reward money won't be lining.
May the hunt